VMware vSphere in the LAB1, we can go for how to install the VMware ESX 5.0 server. See, before installing any operating system, the first point we have to take care about the minimum hardware requirements. So now we'll go for the minimum hardware requirements to install the ESX 5.0 server. So to install the ESX server, the first of all we can go for the basic requirements. So the processor, you can say minimum we require the two CPUs, and it must support the 64-bit architecture, 64-bit architecture, and the motherboards must support. If you have the Intel is there, Intel HD should be enabled in the BIOS setup. HD stands for hyper-threading. Suppose the HD is not enabled in the ESS server, we are not able to install the 64-bit guest operating systems. If you go for like a AMD processor, the technology called as a VT technology. So the minimum RAM size, how much requirements? Minimum RAM will go for 2 GB of RAM, and the maximum it depends upon how many virtual machines you want to install in the ESS server. And if you go for the network cards, network interface cards, it is recommended to go for 1000 Mbps or 1 Gbps, 1000 Mbps network cards. So minimum we require like a 2 network cards. So now we have the physical computer with a processor. You can see Intel processor, Intel i3 processor I have, and we two CPUs are there, two virtual CPUs, and I have the RAM size. You can see the 2 GB of RAM, and I configured my hard disk size. I have the hard disk, local hard disk with a 40 GB, and this physical computer I have the two NAC cards, and each NAC card is 1 Gbps, and this PC has DVD drive is connected. And to install this operating system, I have the VMware hypervisor ESX server CD also is available right now with me. Now to start installation, the first step, go for the BIOS setup. Now in the BIOS setup, change the first boot device as a the first boot device will go for the CD by DVD, because we have to boot with the CD or DVD. And instead of this VMware CD now, we can start installation. For continue the installation, now simply press enter to continue, and press F11 to accept the license agreement. See, we have the hard disk size is a 40 GB hard disk, but the local hard disk I have, and we don't have any remote devices, remote storage devices. So the file system supporting by your VMware ESX 5.0 is by default the VMware support in the file system is a VMFS, virtual machine file system. So press enter to continue. So the by default language, the keyboard layout you can say US default. So it requires a password. So the minimum password length we have to go for the 7 characters. So just I'm typing is a password is a ABC underscore 123, and to confirm the password ABC underscore 123. See the password recommended. The password must contain the alphabet and the numeric and the special characters. So the ABC can say alphabets are there, and underscore you can say special characters, and 123 you can say numerics are there. And totally it has 7 characters. So press enter to continue. And now we're going to install the VMware operating system. Confirm the installation now and press F11. So the installation is just taking the less than 5 minutes time only. So the installation is completed successfully, and remove the CD. Now press enter to reboot the system. Now it is going to reboot. See the VMware ESX 5.0, and I have the two Intel Core CPUs GAYATRI, and I have the 2 GB of memory. See, in my network, I have the DHCP server, so that's why automatically the ESX server with IP address from the DHCP server. So the IP address of the your ESX host, or we can say server, is 192.168.72.162. And you want to change the IP address settings or anything, there is an option name is called as F2 key is there. By pressing the F2 key, we can able to customize it. So now, if you want to customize any settings of this one, press F2 key. So it asking for the login name. The login name, the default you can say root, and the password we have given as a ABC underscore 123. And type the password. So we have the different options that are available. Configure the password, configure the management network, and in the management network we can able to configure the host name and preferred DNS and alternate DNS, and these things we can see later. So in this way we can able to install the ESX server.